Hello and welcome to another episode of Zyori Vlogs. I believe this is episode number 20, if I'm not mistaken. A couple of updates for you guys. It's been quite some while since we've vlogged. I think it was just after the IPL 6 debacle since we last chatted, so it's been quite some while. First order of business and the most important thing to note, and some of you may have even realized by now, we're totally redoing the website over at ZyoriTV. We're switching from a PHP BB base and oh my god, is that my phone alarm? Switching over from a PHP BB base into a WordPress, and there's a couple of options. Although the site's probably not going to look as unique as we are using a premium WordPress template, it does help with SEO as well as just some of the general content organization. Right now, the ZyoriTV website is actually a totally custom designed project. It's the original code that we had back in the Hypercrew days, like 2 years ago, that's just been slowly built upon and edited as needed. So it's not the most efficient of code, and the problem is anytime I want to make a change to the site, I have to kind of reinvent the wheel, and there are a lot of really handy WordPress plugins that are going to end up making my life a lot easier. The issue, though, it's a little bit tricky trying to do the development on that site while this one's live. So if you've tried to access the site yesterday, or really I guess at all today, stuff is screwy because I'm trying to play around. I'm trying to not break as many things as possible while we're developing the new WordPress. But when you're totally switching platforms, it's really difficult. What I really should do is just take the site down for 12 hours, totally get it done, and then bring it back up. Don't really want to do that, partially because I don't really know what I want it to look like. I'm not familiar with WordPress. I'm used to doing it my own way, so I'm kind of slow with it. So I'm kind of trying to do it step by step. The next thing to talk about is just my frustration with staff struggles. For a while now, we've been trying to find a streamer to kind of drive the stream in lieu of myself having time to do it, and that has just failed miserably. In my head, I've been looking to overpay somebody to do it just to get it started. Say, all right, listen, whatever ad revenue is, I'll pay you an additional 10 or 15% on top of whatever you'd be making on your channel. At least someone that could bring in viewers in the triple digits. Kind of 100 was my base, and the few people that we talked to weren't really interested, and most people that were already at that mark were very satisfied with what they were doing, and at that point it's not even enough money for 10 or 15 or 20% to really make a significant difference on the bottom line. So I guess the whole plan was kind of flawed. That's part of the reason why the stream hasn't been live as much as we had originally hoped a couple months ago, and we had those staff postings and really wanted to do a lot of cool stuff. I don't know what it is with people where, you know, I talk to them at first and they're really excited. You know, you get the contract drawn up. They're like, oh yeah, I'm going to get paid to produce content, and they just don't do anything. You know, you give it to them, you give them the directions. They go, okay, great, yeah, maybe something by Friday I'll have something for you to look at. I'm like, all right, Friday rolls around. Oh man, I was busy. Oh no, I couldn't get it done. Monday, you know, I'll have some time this weekend. Monday, you know, then they don't reply. And then they give you some more bullshit, and then finally you just go, all right, obviously they're not interested. What was the point of signing the contract? There's so much flakiness in this industry of esports. It's just unbelievable. You know, when we did League Live, that was part of my frustration with Angel. You know, there's a difference between being full-time esports and being unemployed and having nothing better to do than esports. The difference is after about a month of unemployment, when you run out of money and realize, hey, I need a job, esports is going to go out the window, and that's where I get screwed, because then my content goes out the window. You know, better yet are the people that come on for a month, do a little bit, and then go, oh man, this is more work than I thought. I mean, what do you think I was paying you just to sit there and fuck around? No, come on. It's just, oh man. It's so I've really yet to find too many people. I do have a couple staffers that are really good, been doing a lot of work, but unfortunately, the core of our model was to have an active stream, and we obviously have not. So I don't want to say I'm throwing in the towel, but I'm getting pretty pessimistic about that plan. But I will say there have been some changes in my life. I'm moving on from the current job I have now. I'm going to be moving on to something else, but I'm going to have a little bit more time. I've geared it up, so I'm going to have some free time in between. So I'm not going to be streaming too much more, as sort of on occasion when I'm feeling it, for fun, probably more than we are now, a little bit more than just the Saturday news report. but it's probably not going to be the content you guys are used to. I've actually been playing on a vanilla WoW server, the Emerald Dream. If you're really into vanilla WoW, this is the best private server I've ever seen. It does have a little bit of a lag issue. I think it's based out of Europe, so for those of us in the States, there's a little higher ping than we would like, but it's totally Blizzard-like, 1x. They're slowly releasing content right now. It's just Molten Core and Nixie. I think Blackwing Lair is due to come out in 2 or 3 weeks, and I've just been having a blast grinding away on some vanilla WoW, just like soaking up the nostalgia from 2006. Just like, oh my god, I can finally be a paladin. I always wanted to be a paladin. Oh man, it's really quite fun. So we're probably going to be streaming some WoW, especially when I get to the raiding stage. You can't even access that content anymore because they got rid of it when Cataclysm came in. So that's kind of what makes it cool. So we'll be streaming some of that. I'm also going to be starting up an audio-only podcast. I sort of pretended to start when we did 2 episodes, myself and Jen, Little or Done. But after that 30-minute rant about North Korea, we kind of just never picked it back up again. So I am going to try that. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts recently, and I've really fallen in love with the medium of audio only because it opens up a lot of other windows for listeners in terms of driving and other situations where you wouldn't normally be at a computer, and it takes a lot of the pressure off. There's no camera presence, there's no worrying about production. It's just all audio content. I like that you can kind of enjoy that while doing other things, especially while driving. If you're one of those people like me that doesn't really like the radio and only listens to an iPod or CDs or some sort of predetermined music, check out some podcasts or audiobooks. It's surprisingly good. It makes driving in the car a much less tedious task, and you get to soak up some knowledge. Podcast content, it's going to be sort of pseudo gaming. I'll talk about some gaming stuff, my opinions about certain things. It's going to be certain current event type things, and it's also going to be a little bit about fitness, believe it or not. I'm sort of, with this job transition, turning a new leaf in terms of fitness and changing up a lot of dietary things, and be talking about my quest to become healthy. I've slowly, painfully trying to get back into shape. My quads are on fire from that bike ride this morning. The last thing I want to talk about, sort of, it all correlates together with this whole. It's been 4 months, since the turn, or well, I guess 5 months now since the turn of 2013, when we were really hyping up, all this content we're going to meet at ZyoriTV, and it's been a little bit of a dud. And I was listening to, I think it was Joe Rogan, and they were talking about how being a stand-up comic is a business where you can kind of have a breakthrough performance seemingly randomly. There can be a guy that's a really, really good stand-up that just never has that one huge performance that, gets a special that ends up on Netflix that really puts him on the map. And on the other side of the coin, there are people that really aren't that great, but they do just get that one great performance. And then after that, they explode and just snowball out of control. And this guy that's not even really that funny or original, is a hugely successful comic. And they were talking about the kind of dynamics of that, and I was like, wow, that's really, really similar to esports. Really just amazing parallels there. And then I thought about it myself, and I was like, they were also talking about how rare it is. There's a lot of people that just never have a breakthrough. As unfortunate as that may be, it's just the nature of the business. And I was like, all right, yeah, I can see esports that. And I was like, man, I wish I broke through in esports. And I was like, wait a second, I did. I got offered a full-time job at S2, but I turned it down because I was greedy and stupid and naive. And there were some other reasons. S2 did screw up some things on their end that scared me away. But all right, so I kind of broke through, and I said, nah, that'll happen again. First stupid mistake. So then I'm going, working with Garena, and I actually kind of had a second breakthrough performance with showing everybody my wiener. Not quite in the same context, but in the same way, the whole point of the entertainment industry, esports, is attention. That's all we're doing, trying to garner viewers, trying to entertain more people. I finally had that attention. The spotlight was on me, and what did I do? Well, I ran. I was like, oh no, I gotta take a level of professionalism here. I need to hide under the bushes. I don't want Garena to dump my contract. Well, it turns out Garena was going to dump my contract anyway, compliments of S2. And I could have just ridden that little wave there for a little while, and that could have been almost even a second breakthrough to kind of push me up a little bit, at least get the ball rolling, and then just build from there. And again, I kind of made the wrong decision. And in the past 4 months, I've really erred on the side of professionalism more than stupid alarm. professionalism more than not. And what I mean is I've stopped tweeting personal things on Twitter. I only put stuff on Facebook that's like official, like news post kind of stuff. And I realized as good as that is, it's really boring. And there's a lot of other people doing that. And that's not really why people play video games. It's not really why people like content producers like Zyori. When we picked up Zyori, and I guess it was in January, he had just under 10K subscribers. I think he was at like 9K, something like that. He broke 70K subscribers on YouTube yesterday. Absolutely amazing. I feel bad that we're not able to give Zyori more. When we started, I thought it would be a little bit more of a mutually beneficial relationship, but he is snowballed out of control. My hat goes off to him. Absolutely congratulations. He just moved into a new place. He's streaming now. He's making some serious bank off of YouTube, and I don't mean that like he's buying diamond necklaces, but he's actually able to support himself through his passion on YouTube, and that's something I'm very envious of. And congratulations are certainly in order. He's doing one hell of a job. Of course, Decidious was taken on YouTube. A little shameless plug right there. So the moral of that little story is in the coming months, the podcast is going to be very, very raw, much more like raw Zyori, you could say. It's going to be profanity and all that kind of stuff, kind of my raw opinions, not concerned about the potential of like, well, what if we get a sponsor and they don't like what I'm saying? Fuck that. All right, fuck the sponsors. There are no sponsors. We don't have any. So what the fuck difference does it make? So that's kind of the shift we're going to be making towards in the future. So just kind of want to give you guys an update on my mindset. Of course, if you're interested at all in health food, I've got a delicious little fruit and spinach shake here, and that's going to be the high point of the podcast. So stay tuned to the website. There's going to be a lot of different content coming there, as well as just changes in the way things are organized. But until next time, guys, there is going to be a news report today, so be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other. We'll see you later.